No Holds Barred, Episode 3. Another 7 days has passed in the world of professional wrestling, and Raw this previous week was in Birmingham. Really good to see the English crowd getting amongst it. There were some absolutely hilarious chants. When Vicky Guerrero was walking down the ramp and on her way to the ring, the crowd were chanting, "Who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya?" That was awesome. I think there was some other funny chants. I mean, last time Raw was in England, I think there was in Liverpool, there was a fish and chips chant. That was pretty cool. One thing that I've never really understood about Raw when they come to England is they're in Birmingham and they've got London black cabs and London telephone boxes on the stage, even though they're in Birmingham. They've done the same when they was in Liverpool. Maybe there are red telephone boxes in Birmingham, I'm not sure, but I thought that was just a London thing. Jesus Christ, they might as well have a stand of tea and crumpets up there with it as well. It started off the show with Miz quitting the team. Jolly good. Don't want to see him at Survivor Series main event. Get him out of that team. So he quit because he thought the team leader, CM Punk, was a coward and left them all to get destroyed by Ryback, which is true. So his quit. Paul Heyman's on the hunt for another person to fill that slot. See, this show is 3 hours long, man. I'm going to struggle to try and get through every single thing that happened, so I'm just really going to skip through and go through what I thought was worth knowing. More John Cena and AJ bullshit. Vicky come down to the ring saying she's got more evidence, and John Cena sleeping with AJ, blah blah blah. She shows some security footage of some hotel where AJ's going in between rooms in a dressing gown. John Cena opens the door in a towel with a "Do Not Disturb" sign on his door, and the crowd are going, "You've been busted," or something, was it? "You got busted," or something like that. John Cena actually did say some funny stuff, actually. He doesn't often make me laugh with his promos. I can't take him seriously, but this is the first time in years I've actually gone, that was actually quite good. He said, "Vicky, you being honest is like me learning another wrestling move. It's not going to happen. I've got my 5 moves of doom, and you've got your bullshit." I just thought that's hilarious. And then he also pointed out, and well, I wrote it on the notes, didn't Vicky sleep with Edge, Big Show and Dolph? And a couple of seconds after I wrote that, he mentioned that she used her power to get Edge, Big Show and Dolph Ziggler world titles, which I thought was quite funny. Vicky invited AJ to come down to the ring. She didn't go to the ring, but she did appear on Titantron with a face like thunder, saying, "You do not want me to come down to that ring because I'm just going to rip your hair out." And then Dolph Ziggler turned up out of nowhere, put his arm around AJ, and I thought, oh, hang on, is this a little twist? Is it actually Dolph Ziggler she's sleeping with? It could be, but it probably isn't, because Vicky Guerrero laughed instead of being like, "Well, that's my man. What you doing?" So it looks like it's just Dolph Ziggler being a prick. John Cena got the ump, looked a bit jealous, legged it out the ring, and that was the end of that. She walks out the ring doing an annoying laugh and her "excuse me" bullshit. I hate Vicky Guerrero. She makes my skin crawl. Shortly after that, we had Paul Heyman backstage talking to someone. We didn't know who it was at the beginning anyway. He's asking for this person to join Team Punk and take The Miz's place. The camera slowly pans up and it's Wade Barrett. Crowd go ape shit. Obviously, being an English Raw, an English wrestler, the crowd are going to love him. And he's taken Miz's place in Team CM Punk. Next up was Cody Rhodes versus Daniel Bryan. Cody Rhodes won within a matter of minutes, which really annoyed me actually. Cody Rhodes then took the microphone and said something, and it led into a Damien Sandow versus Kane match. Kane wins, and I've put here on my notes, it's good to see multiple tag team rivalries again, and we just get more and more tag team rivalries as the show goes on as well. But what I mean by that is, back in the day, you would have so many rivalries going on. You'd have the Dudley Boys versus the Hardys, you have New Age Outlaws versus the what are they named, the Moshers or something. But yeah, there was always different tag team rivalries going, not just as teams, but it'd always be, like, for example, tonight we had Rhodes versus Bryan, Kane versus Sandow, and then they have a tag team match against each other, you know, after doing singles matches. It's good to see them mixing it up and putting a little bit more focus around the tag team division. Next up, we had Brad Maddox, or as CM Punk calls him, Maddox. Yeah, Brad Maddox comes down to the ring, and he says he fixed the match because he just wants to make a name for himself. He's been wanting to be a WWE superstar for years and years and years, and now no one will forget the name Brad Maddox. I beg to differ. I reckon in a couple of months we're all going to be, oh, I can't remember his name. Who was it? Brad Bollocks or something. Yeah, it's going to be like that. Vince McMahon's music hit. He says, well, if you want a contract, you got to beat Ryback next week. Now that's going to be a thrilling match on Raw. Ryback versus Brad Maddox. Wow. He then makes an announcement which pissed me off. Kind of ruined it. Oh, just a side note as well. I've got on here that the crowd love Vince McMahon. He made the announcement which really pissed me off. He changed the main event of Survivor Series from a traditional Survivor Series match, Team Foley versus Team Punk. He swapped that for Punk versus Ryback versus John Cena. Can someone remind me what John Cena has done to earn a place in the championship match? Absolutely nothing. He's not wrestled in 7 weeks up until that show. Jesus Christ, Jinder Mahal and Heath Slater, they've won more matches than John Cena in the previous 7 weeks. Form means nothing in modern day WWE. It winds me up. They all just go, oh, Cena, yeah, fuck, title match. What happened to building your way up, earning wins to become the #1 contender? I mean, that's why I quite like the Bound for Glory thing with TNA. It's like a league table. They get points for that, points for submission, points for tap out, disqualification points if they get DQ'd or whatever. They actually make a worthy #1 contender. What's wrong with doing something like that? Raw, I'm not saying rip off Bound for Glory, but how the hell do they choose their #1 contenders nowadays? They don't. They just think, oh, yeah, you do it. Go on, John, jump in the ring. It just really annoys me. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, that's really thrown out the Team Punk versus Team Foley thing. My thoughts really was, when they decided to go Team Punk versus Team Foley, Cena wasn't cleared, and backstage, you know, in creative meetings, they were like, well, we can't put John Cena in there because he ain't fit. Let's do something with Foley. They do it on Raw, set the match up. The next night, Doctor goes, oh, Vince, Cena's alright to wrestle. He'll be alright for Survivor Series. Oh shit, well, let's just scrap everything and put him in the main event then. I reckon that's what they've done. It's just pissed me off. How the hell are they meant to build for future stars when they just chuck title shots to John Cena? What's wrong with Punk versus Ryback? Why doesn't Ryback get his legitimate rematch back? If Vince hates CM Punk and says that Punk screwed Ryback, why not put him back in the ring with Ryback as a no DQ match so he can't run away? That would have made so much more sense, and it would have built Ryback up, and it would have made Punk, well, hopefully when Punk retained the title on Punk versus Ryback, hopefully it would boost him as well, because it'd be like, shit, he's done it again. Like, Punk versus Ryback would have been so much better than this triple threat bullshit. Fucking irritating me, that is. Next up, Sheamus beats The Miz. Big Show on commentary. It was what it was. It was the longest match on the card, I think, but I just wasn't too fussed about it, to be honest. It was a decent match. I mean, Big Show was good on commentary because he's angry, he's just trash talking, he's good at that. But he's too slow in the ring. You know, it's a really weird contrast with Big Show. I like him on the mic, but I hate him in the ring. I don't mind him being champion if they continue to keep him as a monster, where he just demolishes everybody, talks shit, and he's just confident and arrogant and nasty. Hopefully that tees up a Mark Henry versus Big Show feud when Henry comes back off injury. Because when he had his Hall of Pain gimmick as World Heavyweight Champion, Henry was unbelievable. So good. They've had him on the roster for the best part of 20 years. And all of a sudden, he's a main eventer, and he's believable. He was so good on the mic, and I think Big Show versus Henry would be quite a good World Heavyweight Championship feud. Next up, Dolph Ziggler is named as team captain for Survivor Series, replacing CM Punk. So now it's Team Ziggler versus Team Foley. What's the point in Mick Foley being there? I really don't know. Next up, we had a little vignette for a new superstar. Goes by the name of Fandango. Yeah, Fandango. Or, if you actually looked at their promos, his name's Fandango. They've had to pull the promos because they spelt Fandango wrong. Basically, it's Johnny Curtis acting like Louis Spence. He comes down doing the tango with some like rumba music, dances with like a rose in his mouth, looks like a ponce. It's basically Louis Spence in wrestling gear. It's Johnny Curtis. He's quite good on NXT. Oh, Jesus, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Sorry about that. But, yeah, it's Johnny Curtis in NXT. I quite liked him. But as Fandango, What's the fucking point? This is going to be another failed gimmick. This is another Antonio Cesaro or Lord Tensai. It's just going to be a total flop. Next up, we had Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston, and for me, Kofi continues to impress, going up against a bona fide main eventer, I guess. Del Rio's been in plenty of main events, and they put him in the ring against Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston even got the win because of one of the most stupidest finishes that they continue to do. The whole distraction music roll-up pin job. Del Rio's in full control of the match. Randy Orton's music hits. He stops what he's doing, turns his back on Kofi, stands there like a bloody Mexican lemon, and gets rolled up for the pin. Really annoying, but it gives Kofi the win. Fair dues. It builds up the Del Rio Randy Orton feud. Orton come down, gave him the RKO. End of that, but I will say the commentary for that match was fantastic. JR done such a good job building up the backstories. Even Michael Cole, to his credit. See, when you pair up Cole and JR, and they're not bickering, they're doing their job, they're calling the match, they're building up the stories, which is what an announced team is meant to do. It's superb. Absolutely superb. It makes the in-ring action that much more crisp. It's the icing on the cake when it comes to commentary. And Cole and JR do it superbly, like I said. You know what's going to happen? Jerry Lawler's due back now, and Vince can't wait to get rid of JR. It's sad that he's got such a bitter, jealous feud with him. He just hates JR. He loves to tease him. And I know he's just going to bench JR. And he's just going to have Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, and it's just going to be pathetic. And it's going to be, Jerry, long live the king. You know, God bless him. I'm glad he survived. But do they really need to show pictures of his clinically dead body on TV going, last week he was dead for more than 40 minutes? And it's just, why do you need to put a picture of that? And when he comes back, it's going to be too emotional. It's going to get on my nerves. And his commentary's rubbish anyway. He's not what he used to be. PG Lawler just doesn't work because he can't go on about the puppies. He can't tell dirty jokes. He can't just slag anybody off. He has to be all... Oh, I don't know. It just annoys me. Anyway, moving on from that little rant. On to another one, actually. Team Cobra versus Epico and Primo. Another tag team rivalry, which is good. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are some benefits, but I just can't stand Santino Marella. The flipping Cobra thing just annoys me. It's worse than that Hulk Hogan finger poke of doom bollocks, because all he does is puts on a sock puppet and fucking pokes you in the temple. He doesn't even punch you with it. He doesn't do the mandible claw. It's a poke to the temple, and it's laid out a lot of big superstars in the past. It's the most pathetic wrestling move. Don't get me wrong, Santino does his job. He's good for the kids. He sells merchandise. He is funny. Just stop doing the Cobra. In fact, don't be in any major feuds. Just do what Funaki used to do. Interview people backstage and things like that. Don't be an in-ring performer. It just irritates me. Next up, Wade Barrett versus Brodus Clay. Biggest reaction of the night was when Wade Barrett walked down to the ring. Crowd were going apeshit, singing along every moment. Wade Barrett done something good, it was way, and when Brodus done something, it was boo. You know, the crowd were totally against Brodus and all behind Barrett. And at the end of the match, you see a smirk on Barrett's face. He must have absolutely loved it. In fact, we've got one of my subscribers who was at the event live. He recorded a speech which Wade Barrett made after the show on his phone, and he sent me the link, and I'm going to play that for you now.
I've been wrestling 9 years now, and I've never once been cheered. And I really wasn't anticipating that tonight, as you can probably tell from my speech, because if I was, I'd have actually rehearsed something. So no matter where I go around the world, I'll wrestle in the States, Africa, South America, wherever it is, I'm always going to carry this Union Jack. This time of year, I'll always proudly wear my poppy on my heart. This is an Englishman who's home. Show some damn manners and let him say thank you for God. Mr. Barrett, I believe you have the floor. I'm going to sit right here in case anybody else decides to run down. This time is your time. John Cena myself, but for once he made a good call there. Thank you, John Cena. So I really just want to close up now by thanking everyone to come out here. I mean, you've been incredible fans, you always have been, but tonight you showed me something extra, so thank you very much. A gingerhead Irishman, a three-time world champion, gingerhead Irishman who wants to come over here and bash up a local boy. Believe me, I promise you, I'm going to kick his ass and I'm going to become your first ever
So that was Wade Barrett at Raw in Birmingham. Thanks to Scott for sending me the link to that. That's really cool. I'm quite jealous you were there actually. I would have loved to have been there. I did see tickets on Ticketmaster at the time, but by the time I got around to it, the seats were crap. And it's in Birmingham. I'm down in Kent. I've got no one around me that watches wrestling as well. So I ended up going up there on the train, on my own, watching it on my own, coming back. It's been stupid. If they did it at the O2 or something like that, I probably would have tried to get tickets a bit sooner. Next up, two members of the three-man band, Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal, and here comes the Usos. And I've put yet another tag team rivalry. We've had 3 of them so far. It's good to see the Usos back on TV, and it's good to see yet again another integrated tag team feud. I've got another note here. Not a fan of 3MB. Hope Drew breaks out and becomes gets a proper push. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Apparently, they got a good reaction on the night, according to Scott, who was there. He said there was quite a good reaction for him. I'm just not a fan. It doesn't suit Jinder or Drew. Heath Slater, yeah, that's his flipping gimmick. That's been his gimmick since he broke out of Nexus. It suits him. I quite like the old one-man band business. That was cool. But three-man band with these two, no way. I hope Drew McIntyre breaks out and gets a decent push on his own, because I like Drew McIntyre. He needs to go back to that Chosen One, hand-picked by McMahon gimmick. That was quite good. Jinder Mahal is believable when he's a bad guy, because he's actually Mexican, but he plays a Indian bad guy quite well, actually. I think he was doing alright, but then they just gave up. He had like a little mini feud with Ryback, and then after that he disappeared, come back and is a rock star. Yeah. Modern day WWE people. Main event time, we're almost there. Punk and Dolph Ziggler versus Cena and Ryback. And I've put on here about the crowd reaction. It was quite funny, it was reversed. Punk and Ziggler, obviously the heel team. Cena and Ryback, obviously the face team. But the crowd were just so far behind. So behind Punk and Ziggler. Crowd went nuts. Loads of cheering, loads of CM Punk and Let's Go Ziggler chants. When Cena comes out, it's boo. And when Ryback comes out, it's Goldberg. It was a really odd dynamic. Throughout this tag team match, John Cena had that typical smug look on his face whenever Ryback was doing well against Punk. Why would you be so smug? You're going into a triple threat match against this guy. He's going to flip and demolish you. In the end, Ryback pins Punk, which I think was quite a good decision. Gives gives Ryback a bit of momentum, makes it look harder for Punk to win. Hopefully he does win. I'm praying for him to hold it for longer than that year. And ended up with a John Cena and Ryback stare down. Feed me more chance. End the show with Cena and Ryback in the middle of the ring, giving each other evils. Overall, really good show. One of the best Raws I've seen recently. There was some quite good ring action. Did I get anything on Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. I swear they were there on a night. Did I write anything down for that? No, I didn't write anything down. I can't remember if they wrestled or not. They would usually do. They must have. Maybe not. I can't remember. But yeah, overall good show. Only because of the crowd. With an American crowd and with all their blooming adverts and things like that, Raw just drags out. I mean, I don't watch Raw live anymore because the adverts absolutely ruin it for me. You know, every 2 minutes there's a Subway advert, then a KFC advert, then a Popeyes advert, then a Denny's advert, and then something about Geico Insurance, and then something about discount sofas and cars. The adverts are just pathetic. I don't see the need for that many adverts, so I can't watch Raw live anymore. I'll watch it the day after, and it really helps because it breaks everything down to 2 hours, because you've got over an hour of adverts when you watch it live on American TV for a 3-hour show. It's disgusting. So the British crowd did well. Wade Barrett had a good night. I think the annoying part of the show was scrapping the Foley Punk Survivor Series match and having Cena in a triple threat match with Ryback and Punk. That ruined it for me, killed the momentum for me. Like I said, I don't understand why John Cena has a championship shot. I don't understand it at all. Jesus Christ, Heath Slater's got more wins in the last 7 weeks than John Cena. Why not give it to Heath Slater? Obviously being sarcastic there, but you know, that's the point. So that's pretty much it for No Holds Barred episode 3. Let us know in the comment section what you think of the show. I want to do some Q&A, so send me your questions if you have any. Leave your thoughts on Raw Just Gone. Once again, big thanks to Scott Mitchell for allowing me to pinch his Wade Barrett clip, which he recorded on his phone. Good stuff. Thanks for watching. Leave a like for us if you did enjoy it. Take it easy. See you soon.